Hello everyone, this is Grandes Clásicos 93, and today we're going to talk about a topic I've been putting off for quite some time because I've had to do some more research in order to get my facts correct. Nevertheless, I want to start off saying that in no way whatsoever am I endorsing anyone to delete their social media. My purpose is not to offend anybody or to make you feel inferior. I'm just telling you what research says from a clinical standpoint and how my personal experiences had led me to delete my social media besides YouTube. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this video. So let's get to it. I've had social media since MySpace. I've had Messenger, Google+, Instagram, Snapchat, and WhatsApp. Never had Twitter, for obvious reasons. All in all, I have found them both useful and a waste of time. Let me tell you why. It is estimated that 79% of the US population has a social media account. It spans generations from baby boomers to Generation Y, from your next door neighbor to the President of the United States. But let's get straight into what social media is intended for. In the information age that we live in, we use it to communicate and keep in touch with family, friends, and in some cases, we use it for business purposes. A lot of people use social media for what it is for, but a great majority don't. How many of us remember those annoying Facebook messages of Farmville and that friend that spams our feed with the concert they went to last night? That's right, we all know that friend. But how would you feel if most of your friends were invited to that concert, but you weren't? Or you see that friend that seems to go on vacation every week and posts how good of a time they're having while you're at home, at school, or at work feeling miserable. Broken yet? Well, how about this? Seeing all your friends posting themselves getting married or having a new boyfriend or girlfriend while you're still single and thinking you'll never find the right one while everyone else does. Or how about that person who you thought was a good friend of yours suddenly unfriended you or blocked you for no apparent reason? These scenarios can lead to one have feelings of depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem, and can harm our mental health. Self-image can also be affected, which is how other people perceive you on social media. Comparing ourselves to others who may appear to have a perfect life can give us anxiety. Many people appear one way on social media and another in person, and that could be a determining factor into who you are, which can be either positive or negative, depending on the circumstances. And this leads us to a good point about the types of users on social media. There are active participants and inactive participants. An active participant would be someone who is constantly posting on social media. They could have hundreds of unread messages, notifications, and friend requests. They are the ones who typically have hundreds, if not thousands, of followers. Then there are the inactive participants, or ghosts, as I like to call them. These users typically have few followers and see all of your stories, like your content, but never post anything or talk much to anyone. They could have an old profile picture, a stock photo, or no photo at all. They could be nosy and know all of the things about you, and are generally just wasting time stalking people's profiles or looking at memes. But let me talk about time and usage. It is estimated that the average social media user spends 2 hours on social media every day. If a user maintains this average time spent on social media throughout their lifetime, they would have spent a total of 5 years and 4 months on it. This exposure can have harmful effects. For example, it can lead to improper posture from looking down at our electronics too much. Tech neck oftentimes can result from this. Exposure at night can also be harmful, especially before going to sleep. The light from our electronics can ruin our sleeping pattern and make it more difficult to fall asleep when we need to. Being sleep deprived also leads to emotional, mental, and physical problems. Also, experienced users tend to type responses quickly with their fingers. This could contribute to the brain working fast. As a result, It could lead extensive users to talk like they text, fast. Still haven't scared you yet? Okay, so here's a question. Why do we do it? Why do we spend hours on social media and sacrifice sleep for it? Well, let me ask you something. Has it ever happened to you that you look at your phone thinking that you'll get a notification or a text message, and in a few seconds, you get it? Or how does it feel like when you post a new Instagram post, and you get hundreds of likes and comments on it? Personally, I could never get past 50 likes, and I rarely got a comment on mine. But let me tell you, it makes you feel wanted, and it makes you feel good. Why? Because the brain releases dopamine, which is a chemical that makes your body feel good. Every time you get a text or a notification, especially if it's from someone you like, that releases dopamine, and it feels good, and you want more and more. At the same time, too much of a good thing is not always good, as it could become an addiction, which we'll cover in a bit. This brings me to my last point, social media etiquette. As a result of people being constantly on social media, what we see are people being turned into zombies with low levels of face-to-face social interaction. For example, when I've been out with friends, when there's no conversation going on, I see them resorting to their phones instead of interacting with one another. Or we see families at a table or a restaurant on their phones rather than talking with each other. I've heard from other people who've been out on dates that their date was paying far more attention to their phone instead of their date. You all know that looking down at the phone face, this makes the person not on the phone get the impression that their time isn't valuable, and that is incredibly rude. I know we've all done this, but let's try not to and show some common courtesy to the people who are physically with us and who took the time out of their busy lives to spend time together with us. Don't, under any circumstance, break up with someone over text or social media. Asking someone out? Well, that's up for debate because I've heard of a friend of mine once in high school ask someone out through MySpace. So personally, I wouldn't do it. Face-to-face interaction is preferred. Another big issue, and I won't go much into it because that is a whole different issue on its own, is leaving others on read. This problem is more common amongst millennials, but it's evident in other generations as well. This happens to some of us more than we would like, and it's one of the chief reasons why I deleted my social media. We've all tried to make plans with others or wanted to ask a legitimate question or simply say hello, but we never get a response back. In some social media platforms, it even gives you the indication that the message has been read or seen. There are multiple reasons as to why people don't reply, with one of the top reasons being just too lazy to reply. The bottom line is, it is downright rude not to respond in this kind. It only takes a minute to respond. This could cause severe anxiety to many and cause problems going back to self-image, which we discussed earlier. 1,000 thoughts can come into our mind. Did I do something wrong to upset this person? Do they not like me? Etc. Now, without social media, I eliminated the drama, and if I want to get a response out of someone, I'd rather talk to them in person or call them up to avoid any negative feelings. Bottom line, what can we do if we feel negative feelings because of social media? Well, it helps to get off of it for a while. For me, I took it off my phone and only had it on my tablet whenever I had Wi-Fi, so that limited my usage. But even then, it was having a negative effect on me, so I just deleted them all outright. But some of us can get FOMO, or fear of missing out. In that case, it may help to set a time limit on how much time we spend on social media. I know Instagram has this. I used to put 30 minutes per day and it would send you a notification when you're at the limit. Take baby steps to limit use. Social media can turn into an addiction just like drugs and alcohol. Use it wisely or not at all. Assume positive intent. If you feel neglected by your friends or people on social media, give them the benefit of the doubt. No rightful person wakes up one morning saying, I'm going to do something bad to this person today. We understand things happen and there are misunderstandings between ourselves. Assuming positive intent helps forgive those who do wrong to us, and it helps maintain that certain level of friendship with that person. Again, I'm not telling you to delete social media, but be mindful. Social media can be useful when it is used correctly. Spending too much time on it can have its negative effects on our physical and mental health. Set limits to yourself and spend time doing other activities. Spend physical time with your friends and make them know that you appreciate them. Time is something you can't get back. Show some common courtesy to others and treat them just as you would like to be treated. Some final advice for everyone is to look into your life and see all you have accomplished so far. Build interest in life and have a balance in priorities. Appreciate people for who they are, not how they are in social media. I could say more, but then that would make this video an hour long and most of you would have probably stopped watching about a minute in. So if you've made it this far, thank you, and I hope this information could help you out with your relationships and help you get a better understanding of the effects of social media. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, like my video, or subscribe to my channel. Until then, this has been Grandes Causticos 93, signing off and wishing everyone a very pleasant good evening.